Now, this is a video that I thought long and hard about making, and I was even torn just this morning about whether I should make it or not. So sometimes I literally sit there and I think, what are you thinking, dude? Like, why would you put a video like that and a topic like that out? And then obviously the other side of me is like, well, it's a great idea. I think a lot of people can relate to it because they struggle in their own lives, in their own problems, obviously, and it can help and inspire, some people, okay? So that's first and foremost. Obviously, if I'm putting this out right now, I'm hoping that, if it even just inspires one or two of you to take action and bet on yourselves and kind of, it helps you identify that we all have problems and there's always a way to move past that, then obviously I've done my job and this video is worth it, okay? Now, this is something that I never really talked about before and something that a lot of my friends and current people in my life now don't really know about me and honestly wouldn't even suspect in the slightest, okay? If you met me today, you would have no idea about this because I don't even identify like this anymore. And I'm obviously still not fully comfortable talking about it, but I really hope that by doing so, a lot of you guys can relate, to this story and the struggle, and that it inspires a lot of people that think that they can't do something like this themselves. If I can do it, you can certainly do it. I promise you that. I used to be a pretty serious drug addict in my teens, through my early 20s. And I've done serious drugs, pretty much tried everything. I was addicted to pills and pretty much all opiates on top of other things in my early 20s to about, mid 20s, a little bit earlier than that. And I don't obviously want to go too in depth with the depths of my addiction and what that brought me to. There's really only a few people in my life that honestly know that and the details of that are still currently in my life today, okay? Because one of the things that I had to do to get over it, as anybody that's in something like that would understand, was to cut out all the people that I surrounded myself with at that period of time, okay? That was friends at the time, that was other people and acquaintances, so I pretty much had to start over new, okay? Now, I'm certainly not a huge believer in religion or anything like that personally, but to be honest, someone was obviously, somewhere certainly looking out for me, and we'll leave it at that, okay? Now, I got kicked out of college my first semester because I didn't go. I went back and tried community college, no joke, like 5 to 7 plus times. God bless my parents for continuing to believe in me when I don't know why they would have, okay? And pretty much just kept banging my head against that wall because I thought it's what I was supposed to do, okay? Basically, I was just like kind of lost and not living in reality. Now, at that time, currently too, I was also about $20,000 in debt, and I had 2 accounts in collections at one point, and my credit score was about 500, if not lower. Now, when I bought my new car about a year and a half ago, my credit score was still only like 620, and I ended up having to take, I think, an 11%, I think it was 11% on my car or something, which I'm currently refinancing now, okay? So all that stuff is still a byproduct and a microcosm of the trials and tribulations that I faced early on in my late teens and my early 20s, okay? And I faced a lot. I'm sure a lot of you watching this have as well, okay? But the way I see it, these types of situations can either make you or break you. To quote Stephen Covey, our most difficult experiences become the crucibles that forge our character, and I truly believe that, okay? Another one that I love is that your adversity becomes your advantage. And those are choices that you have to make. Only you can assign the meanings to the things that happen to you in life, okay? You can't necessarily, decide what happens to you all the time, but you can decide how you're going to react and what meaning you assign to that, okay? Now, I'm not telling you any of this for you to feel bad for me or to be like, wow, look at how he turned out or turned his life around or anything like that. Quite the opposite, actually, okay? I'm currently very uncomfortable just talking about it right now, and this is something I don't like to talk about like at all anymore. I don't even like think that way anymore, okay? I'm telling you this story because I want to inspire you, okay? I'm going over my transformation because I know there's a lot of you out there, especially watching this video right here, that are saying, I can't do it, or I'll never be successful, or something along those lines, right? Or maybe you look at an influencer that you look up to and you think, I'll never be like that, I can never achieve that, okay? I also know that there's probably a lot of you out there that struggle with addiction or other similar issues, and I can totally empathize with that. So to continue with the story, how did I get to where I am now, right? What were the changes that sparked that transformation that I could kind of build on going forward that kind of brought me to where I am now? So obviously you can either replicate those things or gain any insight from them, okay? So first and foremost, I constantly fed my mind with books and courses and added to my knowledge and skill base. I still do that today. One of the best analogies that I've ever heard on this was to kind of think of yourself as a car, right? So reading that new book, that's a new spoiler. Congratulations, you just upgraded your car or yourself, right? Taking that new course, adding a new skill base, maybe that means that you just got a new paint job, right? And so all these things are kind of metaphors to upgrading your car or yourself, okay? So that's one thing that I did and I still currently do, and I forget what book I was actually reading. I think it was The One Thing by Gary Keller. It was one of the books I read fairly recently that basically said, one of the things that all the top people in any industry have is that they pay for coaches, right? Or they take courses, or they bet on themselves in some form or fashion. And so that is a requirement for success. You must be willing to do that. Quite often, new entrepreneurs don't consistently invest in themselves because it's not something that you're going to see an immediate ROI with. But it is one of the most important things that you can do. I also bet on myself and went all in, which is something I see a lot of entrepreneurs not doing, okay? A lot of will kind of be like half pregnant with a business model, or they just won't take any risks at all. And I tried just about every type of online business possible, from drop shipping to SMA to private labeling to literally anything that you can think of. If you see a pitch for it online, I probably tried it. Once I found out what I liked and I was good at, I doubled down on that. Now for you, it might be something completely different, and that's totally fine. Figure out what it is for you, okay? But for me, it's obviously content creation and online arbitrage. And that's how I got to where I am today. I'm still an addict, but I'm addicted to healthy things, okay? Like constant improvement, fitness, business, marketing, and constant, reading and stuff like that, okay? Now, I really hope that this inspires a lot of you. I hope that you appreciate me going way deep, way deeper than I've ever gone before, and really kind of letting you in and being transparent.